All right, when you are ready and you've stained your basketball game and you're ready to go ahead and work on putting pictures on, you're gonna start by doing two things. You're gonna need to open up Microsoft Edge, and you're also gonna need to open up Word, which should be on your desktop. And once again, if they're not there, remember you can right-click and say refresh, and your icon should pop up. But I'm gonna go ahead and open up Word and Microsoft Edge. On Word, I'm gonna go ahead and open up a blank document. Now the ruler should be visible on the side just so you have an idea of your measurements. You're also gonna go ahead, if it's not there, you're gonna go to View, and you can check the check mark that says ruler, and you'll see how it disappears, comes back. You're also gonna wanna adjust your margins. That's this space right here that you see in the gray, so that the page takes up as much as possible. So I'm gonna go to Page Layout, Margins, and I'm gonna select Narrow. Then you're gonna see it pop a little wider here, hopefully as the hourglass goes. There we go. You're then ready to put your pictures in. You're gonna go search your pictures by going to Edge, and you're gonna simply look for the ones you want. So for example, I'm gonna start with the Chicago Bulls. So I'm gonna go Bulls logo, and I'm gonna go to Images, so I have my pictures. Now I'm gonna point out, and you're gonna go along with me, this is a good picture. Bad, bad, good, good, bad. Then I have bad, 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 good, good. Now you hopefully have noticed that what I'm talking about as a good picture is a white background. You want your picture to have a white background rather than color so that we're avoiding wasting a bunch of ink, especially if you missize your pictures. Now if you're having a hard time finding a good picture without the colored background, you'll let your instructor know and they'll help you. There's ways that you can take a picture and take the background out of it. But when you find your picture, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna right click and you're gonna say copy. You're then gonna go, and you can click on it if you wanna get to the bigger picture just to make sure that it's a good image. And you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna say copy picture. You're then gonna go to your Word document and you're gonna hit paste. Now when you paste it in, your picture is gonna be much, much too large. You're gonna notice that using a ruler, your pictures are gonna take up a certain amount of space on your basketball game. If you did everything correct, you should have about 3.5 inches wide by about 3.25 tall, which means you're gonna wanna resize this picture. So I simply click on it, right click, and say size and position. But so when I said it's a width, the max width is probably gonna be about 3 inches. Now, if I keep this check mark that says locked aspect ratio and I go okay, it's gonna resize that picture. And if I go to size and position, you'll see it's 2 and what would be 3/4 of an inch tall. And I told you you had a little bit over 3. So that picture would fit perfectly on my backboard. Now, you have room to fit your partner's picture on here as well, so you would go back and you'd have your partner look for their picture. And let's say they're gonna do the Powerpuff Girls. When they do this and they grab their picture, so let's say they go ahead and they like this picture right here, and they go copy picture, one of the things you're gonna notice is sometimes the picture is gonna have all this extra space above it. So you can see this line and you see how it doesn't come all the way down here. It's good for the sides, but it's not good for the top or bottom. What that means is I need to crop this picture. So when I right click on the picture, I'm gonna say crop. I'm gonna grab this black line, I'm gonna move it up so it touches the bottom of their feet. Then I'm gonna move it down so it touches the top of their head. I'm then gonna hit enter to make that picture so that the lines now go all the way around the edges. Once again, I would resize it by going size and position. Now I'm gonna uncheck the box this time and I'm gonna say, okay, I want this picture to be 3 inches wide. And, sorry, I want that picture to be 3 inches wide and I'm gonna make it 3 inches tall. Sometimes the picture may look distorted. When it's a cartoon image, you usually don't have to worry about that too much, but both these pictures would now take up the exact space that I need. Once I have my picture done and my partner's pictures done and they're cropped and sized accordingly, you're going to go ahead and you're going to simply say File, Print. And you're going to make sure you're on the TechEd printer and you're going to print them. You'll then cut them out and tape them to your backboard using masking tape, which your instructor will have a video for, or he or she will demonstrate how to attach the pictures. One last thing you can do is you can go File, Save As, just in case your picture would be messed up. You go to Browse, right? This PC. You would go to the Tech Drop. You're going to go to your class period, right? So if I'm in first period, I can go to my basketball pictures, and you go ahead and put your first name, space, your partner's first name, and you would hit Save. That way, in case you would need to go back to it, you have that to go back to. But so once again, I make sure it's cropped all the way to the edges, and then I resize it, and I don't want it to be any bigger than 3 inches wide and about 3 inches tall for your pictures. So it's 3 inches by 3 inches. And it can be a little less, right? But it can't be more. And then I simply print and I start working on tracing my pictures out. When you're done staining, you're going to watch the video and you're going to print your pictures. When you get your pictures printed, you're going to need a couple of items. One of them is going to be some masking tape, which your instructor will have. And you make sure you put that back so other people can use it. The other thing you're going to need are your scissors that belong to your station. So wherever they're located, you will come and get your scissors, and you'll bring them back to your station. So once you have your scissors and your tape, you and your partner should have printed your pictures for your backboard, and you're going to take them and you're going to cut them out somewhat close to the picture, but leaving a little bit of paper on. So if the Chicago Bulls was one of the pictures I had for my backboard, I would cut it close to the bowl, but not quite all the way up to it. And I would make sure my scraps get in the recycle bin. If I was doing the Powerpuff Girls like I showed you in my example, I would take, once again, cutting close to the picture, but leaving the picture on. And once again, I would make sure the rest of my paper gets in the recycle bin. But you're going to make sure your picture fits, and you can always trim a little bit more off if you want. But your picture should fit nice and neatly on your basketball game if you did everything correctly. You need right about probably 3 to 4 inches of tape. So you would tear off a piece of tape like this for your pictures. And when you go to put your picture on, you need to make sure you pay attention to where did you drill the holes for the rim. Your picture goes on this side. Don't accidentally put it on the back side or upside down. So my holes for my rim should be here. The hole for the backboard should be down below. So that's my basketball game, right? Sits like this. I would go ahead and I would put my picture on where I want it. I then would take my tape and I tear little 1-inch pieces off and I tape over the corners, taping my picture down to my basketball game. And it's okay if the tape covers up part of your picture. So for example, if I put my tape on like this and it's covering up a little bit of the foot, you can see, I can still see through, and it's okay. The tape is transparent enough that it covers up a little bit of your picture, you'll be okay. But I'm going to tape it on nice and flat on all 4 corners. I don't take this up until I'm done tracing my pictures. And the way that's going to be done, you're going to come up and you're going to find some pens. In my class, you have a little holder. You'll grab the one that belongs to your station, and you're going to come back to your station. Now, what you're going to do with the pen, you are going to trace an outline, and you just kind of press pretty hard, and if it goes through the paper, it's okay. But you're going to actually indent your picture on to the wood, and you indent everywhere that you want to draw. And what's going to happen is you're going to create what will look like a paint by numbers when it's all said and done. Once you've finished coloring your whole picture in, before you take the picture off, what you're going to do is you're going to peel up one corner. So you take the tape, peel up one corner, then you're going to go ahead and carefully peel up a second corner. But you want to leave the other corners taped down until you lift it up. And when you lift it up, you should be able to see an indentation in your block of wood which matches your picture. Now, if you wouldn't see part, or if part of it wasn't quite all the way down, you could put that picture back down and you could go back in, coloring in or tracing over where it's hard to see the picture. Then you can lift it back up and you can verify that you see all of your marks. Now you want to do a fairly good job pressing down, making sure you can see your indentations. And if a little bit of pen comes through, it's a-okay. But when you go ahead and you think you have it all colored in, you can lift up a third corner and you can turn. And once you know you can see all of your marks and where to color in, you would go back and peel up that final corner. But I would go ahead, peel up the last part. Now, just in case you can't see everything and you might need it, you're going to go ahead, take your tape, fold it over, keep a hold of this picture until we're all the way done with your backboard. So keep a hold of your picture, don't throw it away till we're all the way done. In my room, there should usually be a fairly large box of colored pencils. Make sure you put them in the correct colors. Once you've got your picture all traced on, you're going to need to color it in. And if you can't remember what your colors of your picture were, you can always go to your drop folder and open it back up. Or you can always just simply go to the web and re-look for your picture. And once you find it, you can bring it up, and if you need to, you can always make one window a little smaller so your picture's up and your partner's picture's up if you need to both see your pictures. But you're going to go ahead and you're going to start going down to your picture, and you're going to look for where you need to color in. So you'll turn it, looking into the angle of the light, right, finding where it is you have your pictures, and you'll start coloring them in. And you're going to simply just take your colored pencils and you want to color them in nice and dark, coating it as well as you can, and just kind of like coloring in a coloring page, you're going to color inside the lines. And you'll do the same anywhere you need that color. Now, to get your colors, I have colored pencils in my room. I'm going to show you where they're located. If you have your own colored pencils and you want to bring them in, you're more than welcome to use them. There might be times where you're tempted to wipe it. Do not wipe across. Simply use your breath and blow off any little chunks. Because what's happening is if you try to swipe it with your hand, it's going to smear and rub that oil of your hand off onto there. You're going to spend probably a day or two working on coloring in your pictures. Once you've got your picture all colored in, you can go ahead and throw your picture away, and you're going to take your backboard and base and give them to your instructor. Your instructor will then put a clear coat on them, which will take at least 24 hours,